What's happening? Because you know it's your boy Beehive Radio Shouty, and stepping in the building, I got a lady that's just really been holding it down for the town of Atlanta, okay? Sumayyah Ali, organizer, community activist, arts extraordinaire, powerhouse arts. I mean, lady, how you doing today?
You know, it's like, Mama, I made it. I'm on Beehive Show.
No. I done made it, getting the opportunity to talk to you now. I mean, Sumayyah, first of all, I've been following you on Instagram for the longest, seeing all of the work that you've been doing in the community, bridging the gap between the streets, the city of Atlanta, and the arts all over the place. What has that been like for you, and what was it that made you start Powerhouse Creatives?
Well, I actually started a brand some years back called Treehouse ATL. And I just really wanted to feature artists, chefs, and musicians. You know, any creatives who was just doing the work, head down, wasn't glamorous or nothing like that. And it was just like, you know, I just want to put some light on either the underdog or the person that's, you know, they so just deep in it that, you know, I just wanted to show them some love. And so I would go sit and just record them in their element and just what y'all got going on. And then I put it out, hey, they got a show going on, whether it be a performance show or an exhibition or something like that. And then it just evolved into one of the street artists had reached out to me and I was like, hey, I like what you got going on here. I need an assistant. And I'm like, well, I don't really know about that, but I was already helping folks. I was already in the arts, so it was like, you know, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And started with the assistant thing. And when I got behind the scenes, I seen all these moving components. That was just like the way my mind just started putting puzzle pieces together. And I'm like, why don't we do this? Why don't we, you know, streamline and stuff? And then I did that for a little while and started to, you know, work out a system. Then I couldn't run my other business doing that.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine was like, you know, you're not an assistant, like you manager.
Exactly.
You doing, you know, you negotiating, you everything.
Yeah.
And then it just, you know, found our pace. You know, of course, two strong personalities, button heads, but it was like a team thing. You know, it was like greatness. And then Super Bowl came around, and the artist had did a mural, Colin Kaepernick, in the West End.
Yeah.
And you know, there was a lot of interviews that were going on around the time, and they had flown down from the BBC in the UK. And we doing interviews at the building, and then I get a call as I go to brief the artist, and he's like, the building is gone. And I'm like, what you talking about? We was just there. He was like, it's gone. And before you know it, you know, the press and folks are coming over to him because the bus that was carrying the teams to the stadium had to drive past that building of Colin Kaepernick, the Kaepernick mural.
Yeah.
And it was something to see, you know, and he was pretty defeated. And for me, I'm just like, you know, what we gonna do now? He's like, I'm just gonna put up another big one across the street. And I was like, hell no. You got me messed up. Like, this is a staple in the community.
Exactly.
It felt like a body had been shot and, you know, just left there because it was just a pile of bricks. And so I organized and we all pulled together, community pulled together, and ended up doing 8 Colin Kaepernick murals around the city, turned into a citywide mural hunt pretty much.
My God.
And no, it was a beautiful thing. And then that Colin Kaepernick got behind that. And then from there, it was just I couldn't keep up with managing artists and all the different aspects and then my own aspirations. So I just took it to another level.
What was it like when you got to talk to Colin about it all? And how did he feel about what was going on in the city?
Oh, they said they were actually trying to get in touch with us. He was in town and he was trying to get in touch with us through social media. But I mean, we had folks driving in from other cities donating paint and cans. And chips. The artist was like, man, I ain't never had so many snacks dropped off, you know.
Come on.
It was just the community came together.
Yeah.
But Colin and the Know Your Rights camp, they had reached out And it took a minute for them to finally get in touch with us, and then I think they shared some of the things that we had posted.
Yeah.
But then we got a formal invite to be a part of his Know Your Rights camp in Baltimore. And so that was the first, that was the first time we really connected with him. And then we just built a relationship with him and the artists, because they did a Know Your Rights camp in Atlanta edition. And they said, we want to have the artists come be a part of it. And I said, well, you can't have the artists be a part of it without having the building owners. So we're going to have to roll deep in there, because to me,
the canvas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be no image if those building owners didn't give us permission, because building owners have the power in this city.
Exactly.
So they came along with us. So when Colin Kaepernick came at the gathering spot, we was like 20 deep on stage. Because I was like, well, they dropped off food. That's, to me, it's like it's
a family.
It's Ubuntu. I am because we are.
Exactly. What is it like, though, being able to bridge the gap between the city and the artists at the same time, too, and actually making a place for them at the table?
It's interesting, because what I've learned over these years is accountability on everybody. Like, it's a hard conversation we all got to have with each other. So I've worked with organizations where, y'all, let's say an organization might put grant opportunities out to the city, or say a mural project.
Yeah.
They'll say, well, we got a $20,000 mural project. Okay, well, us as small businesses, we got to consult out. We got to outsource and things like that. So this budget you're giving us, this don't really work for our team. We don't have the luxury of knowing where that money comes from every 2 weeks and things like that. So explaining to them, hey, this is how we work, and this is how, this is how this works. Yeah. So it's really no right or wrong. It's just understanding business community meet community,
Exactly.
arts community, and vice versa. This is how their money flows. This is how our money flows. And then bridging that,
How do you feel, though, being the conduit of the vessel for that? Because, who was there before you showed up, Sumayyah, to really bridge that gap?
I don't know, and I don't claim to know. I just know that I got tired of seeing artists struggle.
Yeah.
I got tired of that struggling artist narrative. Here, when I've seen in other cities, they're thriving.
What? So, okay, explain the difference then. So what's going on in these other cities?
They're fully embracing the arts. Like Atlanta, it was the music scene that really, the arts.
Yeah.
That really, and this is still in the shadows and the heels of the civil rights movement. But that's part of that pulse, right? And then there's the arts renaissance that's happening here in Atlanta. And to me, it's ask me that question again.
Well, I like what you were saying just about in the other cities versus Atlanta.
Oh, right,
you say that they thriving in them other cities, and down here we looking crazy.
I love design, right?
Okay.
My mind is constantly, I look at anything, it's art, it's connectivity, that's what I see. And I noticed something, say you go to Chicago, right? When you go to Chicago, they're preserving old buildings.
Yeah.
They keep them.
Yeah.
The streets, the smells, the culture. I feel like you can touch base in certain cities like that.
Yeah.
And no one has to guide you. You just get a sense of what the city is.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I feel like that is something in Atlanta we got to work on.
Yeah.
Because here, it's like you have to have an event for somebody to really get to understand the soul. We got an international airport.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So why do we have to, this city should be bleeding with stories told by us, for us. That's another thing too, is who's controlling the narratives. Yeah. Right? Because we like it ultra black around here.
I feel
I'm not gonna mince my words for nobody.
Now I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, what are some of the art pieces that are around the city that you can say that, you know what, me and my team laid the smack down with that?
I think one of my favorite ones is we did a project. I'm not a rapper.
Yeah.
I don't claim to be. But something hit me one day, and I said, I want to drop a mixtape. And we did that. We dropped what's called a Goddess Glow mural mixtape. And what we did was we paired, was it four? I think four. 4 Black women muralists, Black women photographers, videographers, and we paired each of them to a wall. And so the city, track 1 was over in the West End.
Yeah.
Track 2, that protect Black women, the door knocker, bamboo earrings, that's there on Auburn Ave.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And so that's our version of a mixtape.
Come on now.
And it was all Black women. I think it's definitely happening more. I love to see the way these sisters are like shining on these murals, the grand scale murals.
Yeah.
Especially when, no shade to my brothers. I
Come
love
on
my
with
brothers.
it, dog. Say what you got to say.
Because we need each other. But this is the thing. A lot of folks can make a lot of money off of Black women's imagery.
Yeah.
Right? But when we have issues come up, we don't hear it. It's still us fighting. We don't that reciprocity is not there. So it's like for me, I'm always, the Black man is just a beautiful thing to me. So I'm always advocate. I come from, I got 2 brothers, 4 nephews, the only girl. So I'm always advocate for the Black man.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I want to see more of that in the community.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I'm with you. So now, as far as the community activism on the other side of things, though, I know y'all are working with Jamil Al-Amin as well.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
Talk to me.
Imam Jamil Al-Amin, formerly H-Rap Brown.
That's right.
So this past August, we partnered with local organizations to pay homage and commemorate Black August, which is a month-long commemoration of freedom fighters, political prisoners, right? It ain't Black History Month, it ain't Juneteenth. This, that, don't go down that alley. You know what I'm saying? This, that. But it's honoring, their journeys and what they truly sacrificed for, right? Imam Jamil Al-Amin helped cultivate a lot of the West End.
That's right.
Muslim. And he's internationally known from here to Palestine to, organizing this. And this is what we believe and practice in Islam. It's an injustice to one is an injustice to all.
Facts.
Right, and so he was wrongly imprisoned, and his case is actually tried as a state case, right? But they've got him in federal, down in Arizona. And he's been in prison for 23 years now. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's hung up. Yeah. And he should actually be home. Yeah. At least he shouldn't be in jail at all.
Exactly.
But if he is, it should have been here in Atlanta. And so we're just fighting. We fought all month to try to hit that 150,000 petition signatures. I don't know what the count is now. Somewhere just under 80,000, I think. But the petition itself has been out for some years. And so I really wanted to just jumpstart that and say, hey, we can talk about the systems, we can talk about them, but we need to be mad. And it's not that's just one of thousands of our Black men that we done just forgot about. Like, y'all know the conditions in them prisons? Yeah. He's a fragile 79 years old. And we need to be fighting. We need to be fighting for him, every last one of them. That's Black folks.
They finally got Matulu out, and then he passed away recently.
8 months later.
Yeah. And has anybody spoken with Jamil during this time? Do they even allow him access to speak to anybody? How does that go?
Yeah, he does. His attorney, Sister Maha, she's my comrade, and you know, she gets some messages to him from me. His son Kyrie, West End Ree, their team, their whole actually free Imam Jamil is their social media account. But yeah, he's been in touch. He can do calls and things like that. But you know, he's 79. It's just like, man, you think about it. This is our civil rights. Like the stuff we talking about, he's still alive.
Exactly.
So what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And when I hear us, the power of Black culture. Yeah. So to me, it's like, what is this culture you speak of? Yeah. Because if you know the power, then how come we ain't unlocking prison doors for our people? Ooh. You know, so what's to me, that's an accountability thing that we gotta know. I can't. I just can't. No.
What does Jamil have to say from prison? What is his messages being? What have his messages been during this time? And how is his spirits? How does he feel?
It's amazing.
Is he pissed off? Because that was the thing I was thinking about before we even did this interview. I was like, if I was Jamil Al-Amin right now, I'd be angry as hell. You see what I'm saying? And how would you even be able to control that anger from time lost and family lost and all of this loss that you have to suffer because of a system? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
And there's actually recordings, you know, folks can go online if they want to hear, but he's such a calm spirit. Mm. And he's talked to like Mahmoud Abdul Rauf and the team, and the first thing he says is, you know, how can I help? How can I be of service for you? Yeah. You know, what do you need from me? And it's amazing. Yeah. It's like you want to embody that. Yeah. And that's why I'm just like, no, I can't. Every time I think about we get to eat how we want to, we get to go about it. Stuff we complaining about is like, that's a privilege on our behalf. You know, that I just think we don't see how privileged we are in that way, and how are we utilizing our privileges on this side. Yeah. So yeah, Black August, we organized, we commemorated, and we did some in-person talks and things like that at Black Art in America Gallery over on in East Point, Black owned and operated.
That's right.
And they set up a resistance art exhibition with the gallery owner Najee Dorsey. Yeah. And I also spoke to the daughters of civil rights icons. You know, C.T. Vivian's daughter, Denise Vivian. That's like my big, I just adore her.
Come on now.
You know, Hosea Williams' daughter, Miss Elizabeth Omalami, you know, and having the Vivian family, like, to me, it's like, why are they're alive right now. Why don't y'all
celebrate them?
You don't need to go online. You don't need to read. They're like, learn from them. Ask them, what was that like, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
As far as the community, though, what do you think we're going as a city right now? To hell in a handbasket? But
no, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely progress being made, hard work.
Because I'm gonna be real, between what I see you doing, what I see the mayor doing, and the other like-minded people, it's looking like folks is out here working hard as hell.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of there's some it's a lot of fight. Yeah. You know, but for me, my thing is, I think I want all the cultures to have the pen to write their story, as guided by their elders. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go travel and say you go get Latin food, you know, I want to eat from the spot with the abuelas and and I want the language barrier. You know what I'm saying? We got to preserve that. Yeah. I want that for us too.
That's true.
So when there's opportunities and things like that in the city, especially like funding, that needs to go direct. Yeah. I don't want no white buffer between what I'm trying to communicate to my community. Yeah. Right? So that's just my hope for the city, is that the ownership goes to where everyone knows it should rightfully be. Because to me, I say, you can, what's this culture? Like, what's the culture if you don't own your masters?
Come on now.
Because we can be cool for days, and black folks can be some of the main exporters of black cultural value.
Yeah.
By saying, oh, they get to play before you know it, ain't nothing left to eat.
Come on.
So, that's just my take on that.
Being the commissioner of urban design, what was that like during that time when you were running that?
Well, I wasn't running it. I was appointed Mayor Dickens when he had first got into office. I helped to curate a citywide digital art exhibition on the billboards throughout the city.
Yeah.
And then I held the art seat for a period of time, and that one I actually enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It's a lot of lackluster code talk and things like that, but it helped me get a better understanding of how our community operates, right? And one thing I love, I just absolutely love about this city is the NPU system.
Now, what's that?
The neighborhood planning unit system, instilled by Mayor Maynard Jackson.
Yeah.
And I just think it's something that everyone should be utilizing more of. Because then things come up in your neighborhood and you say, well, how this? And you go to NPU. Like, he designed it so well. And I think that's something that we overlook. But that NPU plays into the commission and just helping neighbors to settle their differences, or say a big developer comes in and they want to do a co-working space or however, I can say, oh, well, did you talk to Miss Jenkins over on Fifth Street? What'd she say?
Yeah.
And just being that accountability partner, because we all need it.
Exactly. Working with Mahmoud. Now, how did y'all link up?
With Mahmoud? I think that was 2020 we started working together. And I had organized like a photo shoot through Colin Kaepernick's camp. They reached out and wanted me to organize a photo shoot. And yeah, we just hit it off from there. And Mahmoud, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. And it was the same thing as like working with the other artists, or trying to, you see all the moving pieces and like, hey, let's build a system, right? And yeah, that's I don't want to go too far over there, but no, Mahmoud's is great. I'm his chief of operations.
Okay.
And so I don't handle every aspect of his business, but certain, like the systems, I like systems.
Okay.
I'm learning that I like them just as much as I don't like them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm able to, do what I do. Yeah.
Okay. Working with the mayor, though, I mean, what was that like when you teamed up with the mayor and just being able to be behind the wall and, affect change?
Well, when I was working with them, it was more, he was still trying to figure out a lot. And his office didn't want to commit to too much. Yeah, I'll say that.
Okay. Okay. Nah, I feel that.
I'll say that. I'll say, I'll say that.
I feel that. Okay, so now what other projects are we working on right now, though, Sumayyah?
I'll actually be speaking at the Apollo in October.
Okay, then.
With Ta-Nehisi Coates. When does this go live?
This will probably be going live like next week sometime.
Okay, it might be out by then.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
What?
But that's Ta-Nehisi Coates. So he wrote for Marvel.
Okay.
And things like that. But we'll be talking about art and activism, social change.
Yeah.
And I got some other projects that haven't gone public yet, or that I can't really speak on till contractually. But Yeah, just making sure the right partners are where it needs, to preserve our culture.
What do you think needs to happen, though, in the city of Atlanta to make sure that we preserve the culture? And then what aspects of the culture do you want to make sure are preserved?
Leveraging the playing field, right? And making sure that, for one, that there needs to be an elder at just about all the tables.
Yeah, yeah.
That's something my daughters are in their 20s, and I tell them you always sit with your elders and listen, because it ain't nothing you could tell them that they ain't already
seen or heard.
Not a single one of us.
Come on now.
But yeah, there's just we got to figure out funding and resources, right? And there's a lot. Atlanta's a hub for so many things now, right? But there's also a disconnect, right? So big film productions can come and be made here, but at the same time, the folks that are trying to sustain in the city are having a hard time with that, with the economy rising, right?
Yeah.
So I really just want to see funding get to the right Black founded and led organizations, okay? Because that BIPOC and all those acronyms, they're very fluid, right? But black is ain't nothing fluid about it, right?
Yeah.
And we still trying to figure that out. So to me, until we get that fixed, you can't skip to the two till you get,
Yeah,
you got to take care of that.
I'm with you 1,000%. Now, for people that want to join you in the fight, though, and just want to support and help out, how can they contact you and get down with the movement?
Oh yeah, so I'm working on overhauling my website right now, but I do have.
I feel you. Same thing
that's like a never-ending thing.
Yeah.
But I have a link tree up.
Okay.
It's, Linktree/PHC. On Instagram is Powerhouse Creative. Or you can just email me, ash@powerhouseart.com.
Okay, then.
But it's still Sumayyah.
Yeah. Nah, I feel
Respect
you.
the transition.
I feel you. Now, Sumayyah, what do you want your people to know, though, too, before you slide?
We have a real responsibility to preserve our culture.
Yeah.
And if we know the power of our culture, then we need to act on that. Something like petition signatures shouldn't be, if you can scroll that thumb on social media, and I don't want to guilt folks, but it's just like,
it's the truth, though. Yeah.
And then you think about, like, man, imagine if you was in a cell and where your mind would be, a week, let alone 20 some years.
I did that, and it made me so doggone angry. And see, that's the other part too, because like you say, when Matulu just got released and then he passes away 8 months later, it's like, okay, y'all gonna rob people of their full life, their natural life. You sentencing people to natural doggone life in here, and for crimes that is very iffy. Don't nobody even know the truth. Don't nobody even know what really happened. And then you got so many people that are just flat out wrongfully convicted on a regular basis outside of your activists.
And I think about it too. We got gang, historically there's gang violence and beefs and stuff like that, and we'll take each other out over some shoes or some petty things. Yeah. But the woman that murdered Emmett Till, she saw a fruitful life. Yeah. Why are we not mad about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, if we so big and bad, then
come on. Show up where we need you.
Yeah. And we got to do better about organizing, communicating, putting beefs aside. Yeah. Because that is something I do see in other cultures. Yeah. They might not can stand each other,
but they're going to put it to the side.
They're going to make that deal happen within their,
Exactly.
And so, just figuring that out. But I really just want, Black founded, Black owned and operated businesses, organizations.
Come on.
Because we have to understand too, just even how money flows. Yeah. Right. I done taught workshops about, you mad that you're not getting this, but you're not even, you don't, for one, we could talk about them, but you got to understand how your money flows.
Exactly.
Right? How the money comes and goes. So do you even know how much it costs to operate your team and your monthly overhead and how to even price yourself, right, to be charging? So now that way when the bag does come, you don't fumble it.
Come on now.
That financial literacy piece,
You
right?
ain't never
We
lied. You ain't never lied about
we all
that.
had to learn that the hard way.
Exactly.
And so that's why I try to be, I need it myself. Like
Come
I want
on.
folks that's we gonna hold each other accountable and level up.
Exactly.
But you know, in this overall mission, I know I'm just kind of all over the place with that, but
I'm with you.
you know, preserving our culture, showing up for the elders, showing up for those at least the least you could do.
Exactly.
You know, sign the petition.
Come on now.
New trial for Imam Jamil Al-Amin.
That's right.
Change.org.
Okay.
Help us reach that 150,000 petition signatures.
Yeah.
And on that website, there's a whole list of call to action steps that we need from the community.
Okay.
So, whew, yeah, that's. I'm sorry, Beehive. It's just like
It's a lot. It's a lot. Now,
Yeah,
I already know it's a lot.
lot.
I mean, it's a man's life at stake, a community at stake. You know, I mean, the lives of everybody's at stake.
And you talk about culture. He helped to cultivate the West End, that pulse of the West End.
And that's really Atlanta. If you talk about a cultural center, the West End is where you're going to find culture in Atlanta.
Yeah. And
You
it's just like, to me, I just big on homage, gratitude, appreciation. If that's how we can show our gratitude, is to help at least get this man to his family. Any of them.
Exactly.
You know, I wish I could. That's all I say. I'm a Muslim woman with a radical to-do list, and one of them is free a Black Panther.
Come on now.
You know, and so I would love to just free them all.
Exactly.
You know, straight ahead, like Matulu said. But yeah, we gotta just stop exporting our cultural value.
Come on now.
We got to do our due diligence as creators. No matter which industry, is you visual arts, music art, whatever, you creating something and making exchange for that.
Yeah.
We got to do our due diligence.
I can dig it. Once again, Instagrams or any contacts that these folks need to be hitting right now.
Nah, just right now it's just Powerhouse Creative. Yeah, that's it. I'm a one-woman show.
I'm with you. Sumayyah, thank you so much for your time, sis. Wish you nothing but the best and much success. Beehive Radio, shout it. Sumayyah Ali. Holla at y'all in a minute, man. We gone.